Hello friends and welcome again to another AFK journey video. In this video we'll be talking about the long gaze and the teams to use to kill him or at least to get the highest scores with him. We got into endless mode, and before endless mode we used something a little bit cheesy. Of course it's the Vala because she helped us out to go to the endless mode, and then we go consistent with the team and the layout that you're gonna see. Now first of all I want to talk about two important things. First of all, the equipment. Now as you see, we went into season now, we're getting a lot of artifacts, but you need to level up so you can unlock more tiers and get to the artifacts to level 20, 21 and stuff. We're at level 19, 440 across the board, and we got only the marksman maxed. Now you can max this equipment and it's absolutely fantastic. It will get you to level 400 as max, and these ones I went and prioritized the marksman first of all for Odie and for Marley, and of course if you have Dionel, if you have Atalanta, Brian, everything also helps. Now also for Cecilia, for my progression in story, it will help a lot as well. Now max out, that will give you more damage and more sustainability versus bosses. And I just wanted to clarify this because other players were asking me, we're doing the same setup as you, we even have higher levels than you, and we're still not surviving with our units or our main carry. And this is the reason I'm maxing out the carry equipment, because it will give you high value of HP and attack and stuff like that, defense, resistance and stuff. Now I'm prioritizing after that the supports because it has Coco, it has Smokey, and sometimes I use Rainier. So these units I want them to survive a little bit, so I'm pushing their equipment as well. And at the end I'm going for Koren and Kruger with the warriors. I'm not going for maximum Vala. If I get an equipment, I equip it. I don't go and max it by my own. Now the second important thing is the charms. If you went and was lucky and got the charms at least legendary for them, you will get set bonuses, which is absolutely fantastic. Now if you get to mythic, mythic will unlock other passives and other abilities like attack speed, crit and other stuff that will help you a lot to push in that campaign. So Duras is something that you need to push, but it depends on your progression in the AFK. So the more you push in AFK, the more that you can unlock, and I think at 12, level 12, you will unlock the mythics, and that will help you a lot with progression. Now that we talked about that, let's go and check out the long gaze. Now the long gaze is one of the hardest boss because he can nuke you and nuke the backline with his wolves, or he can jump and interrupt and silence. The best setup for free to play, I'm not talking about if you're heavy investment, you can use Carlita, you can use Rainier, you can use other units that could help you here. But the thing is, with free to play, you have limited option because of the stargazing, that you have a little bit of it, and you need to be super lucky to get a Scarlita and Rainier at Mythic Plus. Either super lucky or you need to pay. Other than that, you can't have them at least one of them you can have at Mythic, the other you can't have it at Mythic or Mythic Plus. That's how we're gonna put it like this. Now before endless mode, I didn't use my Marley. I was using Marley. I was just close enough to get the boss dead, but I couldn't. So I used Vala, and Vala here helped me a lot because she goes and becomes insane when any boss drops below 50%. Now on endless there's no 50%, so Vala is absolutely useless here. So you need to use somebody as big as Marley because all of her damages are true damage, and it will help you a lot. Now I tried different type, I probably tried all of them, and none of them were consistent. Sometimes my units die, sometimes they can't survive, sometimes they survive but don't deal a lot of damage. The only spell that was helping me a lot actually with this setup, now if you play more magical damage, I would highly recommend you to play the Crescent. The Crescent spell is absolutely good, and it will give you the HP and you will hit hard the enemies. If you're playing magical, like if you're playing somebody like that deals magical damage like Satrana or something like that. But if you're playing this kind of setup or this layout, now Starshot spell is good, but it will not give you the survivability that you need. This is why Evocation spell gives you a lot of survivability. There's like an 8% in HP, 8% in HP. Plus it will give you attack speed, it will give you attack, crit, and it will give you the shields that you want. So this is why I always suggest this, especially now it's meta for this season and it's absolutely fantastic. It's kind of the one that is broken. Now in this setup that I laid it like that, Kruger will tank the boss for the start of the fight. The boss then will jump between the enemy, the allies that we have, and he will push, after he goes back, he will push Smokey to this tile, and Smokey will be hitting everything from that tile in the front. So this is the perfect setup that I found as free to play, according to my account, with different lineups and trying to move them away. Now, the most important unit on this lineup is none of other than Coco. If you got Coco to Mythic Plus, you're safe at least, or more consistent with your runs. If she's not, you're not gonna get that shield, and it's very hard for you to survive. This boss is very hard dealing with. Sometimes even with my setup, you'll see like sometimes Odie would die, Marilee would die. It depends on how many numbers of these wolves, the shadow wolves that attack. Sometimes they spread across the board. Sometimes they attack one target immediately, which is Odie or Marilee, and they will wipe them. So let's go and do the first battle. Somebody told me remove Kruger and add Corrin and check the damages. We're gonna do that after this one. So here we go. This is the first fight. Hopefully we're gonna do well. The highest record that I went with is 18.5 billion, and the total score that you need actually is to go to 20 to get all the rewards. Look at Smokey, he got pushed, and this is where you want to have him because he will hit the entire everything, and Marilee will jump in again. And here we go, they're focusing Odie. Now, Odie survived the first one. Hopefully the second one will survive, but because we're gonna have the shields from Coco after the buff depletes, and here we go, and she gave us again the buff back to back. And this is what I like with the evocation spell, because it gives you attack speed or haste, and haste, which will allow you to get more energy recovery also per time. So here we go, we got the shields, then we get the buff again, so we take less damage and we deal more damage. Hopefully Odie would survive here if the wolves do not just target him alone, and they didn't. So we survived, shields are up, and we got the buff from Coco again, and we're healing from Smokey, which is absolutely a beautiful run so far, which is good. The boss jumped on our Odie, but we tanked a little bit because we have the buffs from Coco. And here we go, the boss went back, we got the buff, and we are hammering the boss, which is absolutely insane. This is one of the highest scores, and we hit the high score actually, and Odie couldn't survive the wolves by the end. And are we gonna get the buff? We got 2 seconds left. We didn't get the 19 million, but hey, we got 18.8, which is the highest score so far for our account. Now, of course, with more levels, and if we farm some Duras, more charms, we're gonna get even a better score with this lineup. As you see, Marilee is the best damage dealer for this lineup, and there's tied. Sometimes Smokey does more damage than Odie, sometimes Odie does more damage than Smokey. I'm gonna remove Odie, play Corrin, and or I will switch Kruger and play Corrin, and we're gonna check the damages. Many told me that with Corrin they found more success. It's because true damage in the endless mode, as the devs said before and promised us, it will be the most highlighted damages, but still he deals insane amount of damage, and you can't get rid of Smokey nor Coco. They're core for this lineup for sustainability. And Kruger is amazing with his survivability kit. Now let's try Corrin. Is Corrin helpful? Will Corrin help us with this run? And then we're gonna remove Odie and play Corrin and keep Kruger. So we remove Kruger and we add Corrin. So we're gonna check. I'm gonna put him the same way because he will jump in the front, I guess, and he will tank the boss. So here we go. The boss is locking on Smokey, but he will go to Corrin, and here we go. Corrin went back, and the boss jumped between the characters and hit Corrin, so he didn't hit or interrupt our Smokey, which is absolutely fantastic. And now we're gonna get the shields. Corrin will go back always and give somebody the shield, so he will give us more mitigation and more survivability than Kruger. But Kruger, the debuffs on the boss and his insane amount of physical damage is absolutely nice, and this is why I like him this season. This season he tend to be broken and OP, and the pseudo carry actually for your lineup. So we're dealing good amount of damages actually with Corrin. Corrin is kind of dealing a lot of damage actually, more than our Kruger. I think he does more than the Kruger because his true damage is absolutely good. And the wolves are triggering Odie, and they killed Odie. Sadly, they killed Odie right from the start, which is bad. And the boss is jumping on Marilee. But we have Corrin to give us a little bit of shields and protection. And here we go, we got this healing, and we got the buffs from Coco again. I don't think we're gonna get the same, yeah, we're not gonna get the same results. Sadly, Odie died immediately, but we can see here, and Marilee died immediately, of course, from the wolves. Okay, let's check, did Corrin do more damages than Kruger or than our Odie? And he did do better than Odie. So I think I would remove Odie and play Corrin and play Kruger at the same time. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of RNG because our Odie died easily at the start of the battle, but the debuffs didn't land on the normal attacks. The debuffs of Kruger helped Marilee get the best score before on the normal attacks. So let's check it out. I'm just going with what everybody were telling me because I can't do these guys without your help, guys. So we're gonna keep you, but we're gonna remove Odie and we're gonna go with Kruger this time. It sounds bad, but hey, let's try it and check, because Corrin is dealing a lot of damage. Corrin, as he's at +10, Marilee at +10, and all the rest are at +5 on their exclusive weapons. If you want to check on their exclusive weapons or what I have them, so you have a clear idea of how I'm using them. So here we go. Smokey is tanking this time the damages from the wolves mainly, and hopefully he can survive. He will get the shields. He did get the shields, and we got the buffs again, and the wolves are not stopping to attack. I don't think that it's supposed to be like that. Something is wrong here, but hey, we're still lucky that everybody are surviving, and we're dealing okay damages. I think with Odie it was bigger damages. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know, there's a little bit of lag, and we lost our Smokey sadly because he was the one in the back line, not Odie this time. So I think without Kruger, with Corrin, if we have the RNG to keep our Odie surviving, I think it would be better. And here we go, Kruger is tanking alone because he has his survivability. And now no heals. I think everybody would die. Yeah, with the wolves, there's no heals. So Smokey should not be in the back line, so the wolves wouldn't trigger him alone. Also, sad one, but I think we've done well if they can survive. Yeah, so Corrin and Marilee did all the damages, Kruger did not. So we're gonna remove Kruger this time, and hopefully our Odie would survive. It will bring us to 20 billion. If it does, that would be a major success for the lineup. Here we go, and we put Odie back. And hopefully Odie this time can tank a little bit and not die immediately. Now, of course, if you're playing Rainier and you put Rainier on Marilee or something like that, she will deal a little bit more damage, but I don't think her damage would be that much amplified to cover the lack of damage that we lose when we remove our Odie from the lineup. I think Odie is also important on this lineup, especially if you're free to play. Don't get it mixed up. Many people hate it and they get sad in the comment and tell me, oh, we have these and we have this and this is not the best lineup. This is free-to-play friendly lineup, not the whale territory. Whales, they have Scarlita. Scarlita is a better option than many other units, especially for these kind of bosses that deals a lot of damage because of her shields, because of the way that she mitigates damage to everybody. And here we go, got Coco buffs, and Marilee died, Coco died, and probably everybody will die on our lineup. So with Kruger, I think we survived the most because Corrin goes back so much and he doesn't give us this, yet he deals a lot of damage. But because he jumps back, so a boss changes target, everything changes on this lineup. And yeah, as you saw, with Kruger, it was the most consistent. For me, it was always the most consistent, even though we sacrifice a little bit of his damage. We get the same amount of damage with Kruger and even a little bit more than what we expect. Yeah, I think the buffs also from the faction, if you want to go and check this is the last time I'm going to go and I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to check it. So the buffs that we have here is 14%. If I remove him and add Kruger, now we have even more survivability because of the 18% and 18% attack, which will allow us and enable us to do even more damage. Now, of course, if you're playing Rainier on this lineup, it will go to 23%, which will be awesome. But the thing is, Legendary Plus on Rainier would not do me good, and I prefer to play Marilee. Now, Thorin is a great option as well if you want to remove Kruger and play Thorin and link him up with somebody like Odie or somebody like Marilee. That would be awesome as well. But so far, as free-to-play, full faction buff, at least almost full faction buff, 18%. We're doing crazy good. We're in the top 50s, I think, top 60s. Yeah, almost top 60s, which is really good. If we go get a little bit of levels on our Marilee or Odie, we can hit the 20 billion and get all the rewards. And yeah, that was it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, I thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.